Hi, I'm Kristine with this Currents News update. The verdict is in. All New York City workers must get vaccinated or submit to weekly testing. And now, so is the dissent. Major labor unions putting out dueling statements in the aftermath of Mayor Bill de Blasio's announcement. Currents News' Jessica Eastup joins us now with calls for collective bargaining. Jess.
That's right, Kristine. You know, we reached out to multiple unions around the city and got plenty of passionate responses. Some agreed with the announcement, but others did not. Most notably, District 37, the largest union in New York City, was concerned they weren't invited to the table ahead of the mayor's announcement. Their leader had this to say: "While we encourage everyone to get vaccinated and support measures to ensure our members' health and well-being, weekly testing is clearly subject to mandatory bargaining. New York City is a union town, and that cannot be ignored." Meanwhile, the Department of Education was largely supportive of the plan despite not receiving a heads up, saying this approach puts the emphasis on vaccination but still allows for personal choice and provides additional safeguards through regular testing. We haven't received a response from the NYPD unions yet, but the FDNY EMS workers slammed the move, noting the FDA still hasn't given any final approvals for COVID vaccines. In the meantime, I caught up with some local teachers and their families. Listen to what they had to say.
I feel like it should be the same as a religious freedom, that you choose your own faith and what you believe in.
It's not like you have freedom to say and do what you want. No, not in a pandemic. So we need vaccines, and if you don't get vaccinated, then you need to be tested weekly.
You can see just how divided everyone is on this. The mandate will affect more than 300,000 people. They'll have to be vaccinated or face those weekly tests by September 13th for the start of the school year. Kristine?
Right, Jess, and I know that you spoke with a bunch of teachers leading into today about this mandate, but what happened when it came time for the interview?
Yeah, you know, it really comes down to the fact that people are scared. These teachers told me that they're nervous to voice their opinions on really either side of this issue, and they don't want to be in bad standing with their school, their coworkers, or even their unions. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this all pans out come September.
All right, Jess, we'll check back in with you. Thanks so much. Turning now to a show of solidarity from U.S. bishops in Cuba's ongoing fight for freedom. Bishops and priests who once called Cuba home sent a video message of support to the island's protesters. They're all seeking the intercession of Our Lady of Charity, the patroness of the country. Meanwhile, President Biden is adamant about creating a pathway to citizenship for dreamers. But he says it remains to be seen if the plan will be included in the Democrats' $3.5 trillion budget plan. This comes after a federal judge in Texas ruled to end DACA, or the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, which prevents the deportation of thousands of immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. It's been more than a month since the catastrophic condo collapse in Surfside, Florida, and authorities have now identified the last victim. 54-year-old Estelle Hedaya is the 98th fatality, ending what her relatives described as a torturous 4-week wait. Her younger brother confirmed her identity and says he is drawing strength from God, just as he'd seen his sister do in troubling times. A funeral will be held in Midwood, Brooklyn, where her family lives. And finally tonight, we leave you with some Team USA pride straight from Tokyo. Time for a medal count as our athletes begin to take home the gold. So far, we've locked in 9 gold medals, 3 in swimming, 3 in shooting, and 1 in fencing, taekwondo, and surfing, a first-time event at the Games. And an update on our local Catholic Olympian, whose story we brought to you last week. Kristine O'Brien from Long Island and her crew won their first rowing match, beating out Romania and Australia. The finals will be held this Thursday. How exciting. And before we go, you've probably noticed that today's newscast has been abbreviated. That's because our team is moving to a new studio. Currents News will be back to its full length this fall. And remember, you can always stay connected with us by visiting our website, currentsny.tv. And that is your Currents News update. I'm Kristine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.